Today, I want to talk about putting food on the table. And by that, I mean work. How does work in exile? It puts a roof over our heads, it pays our bills. In that regard, work is a pretty systematic, formulaic pathway to success in the American dream. Work is mostly seen as a way we provide for ourselves. And what about how work contributes to society as a whole? If anything, we probably see economics like a big and fragmented machine that's abstract and impersonal, and we're all cogs caught up in it. In that sense, work is only about utility and efficiency, progress. What happens if that's all work is? What if that's the only way we think about it? As a way to meet our needs through this cold and fragmented machine. So the question is, what's the role of work in God's economy of all things? This is the story of the bigger picture.
Evan, welcome to Exile.
The deeper mystery of faith. This is the story of God's mission in the world and our place in it. I'm Evan.
Hi, I'm Evan.
These are my friends.
Evan, what's going on?
And this is For the Life of the World, Letters to the Exiles.
Hello?
Dwight, we're talking about work today.
Ah, yes. Work. Great. What are you hoping to learn?
Well, what is the essence of our work? What is the fruit of our labor? Even more so, what's it all for?
Wow. Huh. Those are really big questions.
Yeah, so here's your assignment. I want you to find some people that I think are really full of insight. I want you to survey them, but I want you to do it a bit differently. So I put something together that I think will help you get their responses.
Oh, a children's book.
Yeah, I want you to find some kids and get their thoughts on work. My gut tells me that they already have a pretty good idea about what our work is really all about.
Hey, everybody.
Hi.
We're going to read a book today. It's called The Ungiving Tree. Well, we're going to read this book, and I want you to ask some questions, because we're going to talk about this book. The Ungiving Tree. Once there was a tree. Da-da-da-da. Once there was a tree that had so much to give. It had branches to climb, it had leaves to jump in, and fruit to eat. But this tree wanted to keep these gifts to himself.
That's not very nice.
Every autumn, children would come and try to gather the tree's leaves and make piles to climb and play in. And the tree would call the police.
It doesn't have any arms. How would he make a phone?
Oh, let's see what it does. Every spring, children would try to climb up this trunk and swing from the branches. That look fun? And the tree would release his pet python, Larry.
What?
Look at this. Larry ate the little boy.
Wow, that tree is mean.
The tree decided it had had enough. Well, never again is anyone to climb my branches or rest in my shade. My fruit and my leaves, they are mine, mine, mine. And the tree took all that he had and held it all in for months and years. And soon, hardly anyone remembered the story of the tree that had so much to give. The end. So do you like my book?
But I thought the whole story was interesting. Doesn't Redwood eat any of the fruit on top?
So what's the purpose of a tree?
To climb, gather leaves. Trees give us wood to build some houses.
They do? What, Josh? What are trees supposed to do?
Without trees, we wouldn't have any paper. And trees give you fresh air.
So are you telling me that it's the nature of a tree to give?
Yeah.
That was a good experience. That was a good experience in that it helped us understand what work isn't.
When we perform economic activity or work, it's not about ourselves. We have to think about the needs and the wants of others. But as far as this book is concerned, I'm going to give it back to you. That expedition was exhausting.
Fair enough.
One other thing, they wanted to give you this.
Wear it with pride.
Cool. Thanks, Toy. That will not fit at all, but thanks.
Hey, no problem. I'll talk to you later.
Thanks, Toy.
Okay, so now we know what work isn't. It's time to address what work is.
Okay, shoot.
A lot of times, Evan, we forget that God created us to work. We're meant to make something of the world. That's part of what it means to be in God's image. We're makers. The problem is, after the fall, work has come to be a lot like toil, and it's bothersome and burdensome, and we don't have a sense of the whole anymore. Work is actually a gift from God.
Okay, so I'm tracking with this gifting thing, but tell me more about that.
Work helps us to discover our callings, and it's through our callings that we create the goods and the services that benefit people, that meet their needs and actually their desires as well. Can I show you something?
Please.
Yeah. What kind of tree is this?
Maple.
Oak. What is the fruit of that tree?
Syrup.
No.
Trick question, there is no fruit to that tree.
Actually, the fruit of that tree can be quite remarkable. Let's consider a craftsman. Have you ever wondered how many hands have gone into the materials of his work? His basic material begins as a grove of trees on the land of the farmer. That farmer can profit from those trees, but what does that mean? The farmer calls a forester who will clear the trees and then sell them off. The farmer gets paid for the trees, and the forester gets a product in exchange for his labor. What's remarkable here is that both men are profiting because it's in the exchange that the value is created. It is in the relationship that we find such a thing as value. And now this forester takes his profit and enters into other relationships. He sells the wood to a lumberyard. He exchanges the money he makes for the labor of his employees. Or he buys new equipment from another fella who sells it. Or he sends his kids to school. And his employees take their profit and enter into exchange relationships with tons of other people. It goes all over the country, and soon we see that our work is not toil or something that concerns just us. It's something that creates a huge organic mass of relationships between human persons. And that brings us back to the craftsman. His individual work, his creativity, is actually one part of a larger whole, even if it looks like he works alone. And it's the same with you, whether you're a janitor, a CEO, or a programmer. When you do the workaday tasks of your job, you are exercising your own creativity, but you're also collaborating. So when we talk about the fruit of that tree,
Come on, back.
What is it?
Okay, hold on.
the fruit of that tree and all of our creativity is not only products, but relationships.
Cheers, guys. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Evan, the fruit of our labor is fellowship. It's community. It's relationship. Whether we even know it or not, we are tied into a relationship with all of the people that went into the making of this very table. From the farmer, to the forester, to the mill worker, to the craftsman and owner. We see this creative collaboration that created more than a consumable product, but a relationship with countless others. This is the oikonomia of economics, if you want to put it that way. All our work, every product, is a result of a great and mysterious collaboration. Look around you. Every product that you see here is the result of an enormous organic collaboration of individuals. I mean, really, what that is, it's a picture of abundance and harmony. And if you try to control the process, it's like we're trying to control how people offer their gifts to other people. And what we really need to do is to allow people to offer their gifts to one another in free and open exchange so that others can flourish.
So, if you put it that way, then, like all of these things that we possess, they all start and stop in relationships with people. So then,
Definitely.
it's probably important that we pay attention to the collaborations that we're in and seek justice in those areas where there is exploitation.
Absolutely. And we bring wisdom and virtue into all of these relationships. Others will benefit from that same wisdom and virtue. That's pretty cool.
Dear everybody, consider the lilies, how they grow. They labor not, neither do they spin. But I say to you, not even Solomon in all his glory was clothed like one of these. Jesus commands us not to be anxious about our needs. So then why do we toil? Merely to tend our bodies, or also to shape our souls? In giving us work, God invites us to blend the creativity of our minds with the labor of our bodies, and then to share the products of this work with one another in free exchange.
Fruit of our labor is fellowship.
To make real our communal nature, our gift nature, through our personal callings. We must never see our work as simply a way to gain. We must never see our labor as an impersonal force of efficiency. We must never see our work merely as a mechanism we might control with levers and switches of power.
What kind of tree is this?
And all our work together, what we call the economy, that's not a machine either. Work is always personal because work is always relational. Whether you're a janitor, a CEO, or a programmer, work is creative service. So let us cherish our work as the glorious gift it is. The opportunity to join with others, literally millions of others, in a divine project of vast creativity, vast abundance, for the meeting of needs, for the flourishing of cities, for the life of the world. Let us see every product, every purchase for what it is, a touch point, a nexus of millions of relationships. At every moment, you are surrounded with the fruit of a great and gracious collaboration. At every moment, you are being reminded that you are not alone, and you were never meant to be. Yours, Evan.